Of course everyone wants to make silver when the server pops out, but that won't be the case because I know techniques, you bitches don't. So make sure you watch the video fully just so you get all the info and you don't miss anything, but otherwise let's get into my secretive methods. The first thing I would recommend is taking things slowly and making your own shit, because even if you buy gold in the game, you won't be able to do shit because the markets are gonna be empty as fuck. The starting island, basically you want to come over here and just gather resources, because the starting island has a faster respawn rate of resources. If you want to get into gathering, then Breachwatch will be skinning, Martlock will be stone, Thetford will be, I think, the sickle one, gathering hemps and shit. Fort Sterling will be ores, and Limhurst will be wood. So make sure you research what kind of gear you want to craft, what you want to level up, and just go to the responding city and gather some resources just so you could have a fast start. Now also what I would recommend doing is joining a guild, because you can help people's progress. So for example, you can do gathering and someone might already have crafting leveled up so he can craft you shit. It's a win-win, right? So I recommend joining a guild, for example my guild type. You can join in the link in the description and apply already. We do have a lot of time until the season starts, but we want to be ready. I want to point out that the zones near the city will be the most filled, and it will be a shit ton of resources gathered there. So I recommend going a little bit further out, maybe, like 3 zones, 4 zones maybe, and you have all the resources to yourself basically. But also, don't forget to participate in the faction warfare, because the chests are really OP at the start. You can get a shit ton of resources and silver and fame from it, so I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be doing that. Also, you should take advantage of the black market, because if you know, the black market in Carillion distributes all the loot in the game, so into the chests, mob drops and everything else. So people can sell items to the black market, because at the start there won't be a lot of things there, you can make a lot of silver, but of course you have to go to the red zones, and as we already know, the biggest ganker in the game, Angry Wolf, already announced it that they will be camping the red zones, making sure no one can go into black market, and of course there's gonna be a lot of ganker groups waiting on the first few days. The resource rush is going to be the main thing at the start, because people don't have items to craft hide here, and they also don't have it leveled up, so of course resources are gonna be highly priced. You can make a lot of silver with that, and if you craft you can make even more silver. But of course you have to grind it real fast, because in a few days everyone will already have tier 8 unlocked. What I also recommend doing is static dungeons to fame farm at the start with a group or a guild, and of course after you've done that, the fastest way to level up in the game is going to a world boss. I think the best world bosses are the Morgana ones here, the undead ones here, the undead one here, and the Morgana one here. I think the other ones are shit on the right side of the map, because the Elder Sleep map is really small, so you can't really get away from gankers or divers. And now I do recommend crafting a lot of shit, so I would choose one item to craft. For example, I'd go for leather boots or leather jackets and leather hoods, make them to 100 and then craft tier 8 and monopolize them on every market you can. And of course, you gotta get some weapons in there as well, just so you can craft your team higher tier weapons and you can sell them on the market, as I just said. You also need mounts, because there will be a mount race on who can get the highest carry weight, fastest mounts for ganking and shit like that. But of course they're gonna be on the market soon enough, and I think already a lot of people will push that. So I recommend going with crafting and gathering, or of course you can go to PvP or PvE 24/7 if you want. I also want to point out that I think it will be a great idea to split the plot prices with friends, just so you don't have to buy islands, and of course you can get the associate's fee and you can craft for cheaper. So make sure you get some friends on it with you, and it'll be a lot easier. The fastest way to do PvE is going into an open world black zone, high tier of course, but if you have a group you can go into static dungeons, which are much better, and once you level up enough you can join a world boss guild, which is also a good idea. The start will be slow because everyone is starting at 0, but of course in a couple of weeks the prices will go to normal probably, and you will be able to do normal content with decent ping this time. And don't forget that my guild is recruiting for the EU server already, pre-register right now. The link is in the description, also the same with my Twitch, I will be streaming it. Otherwise, let's head to the controversial Rayo. Now I'm going to give my opinion on the EU server. I think it is a bit retarded that they split up the player group even more, but I think the West server is gonna die and the EU one is going to be the main server now. Because the West server is more like a Spanish server now, because there aren't that many North Americans playing the game. Of course, the reason behind that is there are a lot of other MMORPGs that seem really interesting, for example World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, everything like that, some online games, you know, MMORPGs. So I think Europeans are the major player base in the West server right now, so we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'll see you later, alligator.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Twilight and the beautiful sea, I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky.